Well, I hope that you've had a good day today. I'm excited about the time that we have for the next little while to study the Word of God together. I hope that nobody's sick, but if you are sick, we certainly want to let you know that we love you and we are praying for you. And if we can do anything for you at all, we just ask that you would ask us. We don't have any announcements tonight, so we can go ahead and jump straight into the book of Job again. Last week we heard from Zophar. Now, we heard from Zophar for the last time. We will no longer hear from Zophar ever again in the book of Job because Zophar only speaks twice. Now, we will hear from Eliphaz and Bildad again, but like I said, no more of Zophar. But you remember the picture that Zophar painted of like this great monarch that was so powerful and everybody oohed and awed over, but ended up dying in his prime, and all the wealth that he was able to amass during his life was given back to the people that he unjustly took it from. Well, Job is going to respond in chapter 21 to all the friends. He's speaking to the friends in the plural, so he's addressing all of them. But there are points that we know he is particularly responding to what Bildad has said in chapter 20. But we won't waste any more time. Job chapter 21 is where we're at tonight. So if you haven't read Job chapter 21, please pause the video, go read Job chapter 21, and then we'll be ready to discuss. Then Job answered and said, verse 1 says, "Keep listening to my words and let this be your comfort." So Job really tells all three of the friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, he tells them, guys, open your ears and just listen to what I have to say. That, my friends, would be your comfort. Bear with me and I will speak, and after I have spoken, mock on. So we see Job's like telling the friends, hey guys, open your ears. Now, please, please, please listen carefully to what I'm about to say. Okay? Don't hiss, don't mock, don't use all these body gestures that would suggest that you're not listening carefully to what I'm saying. But I'm telling you guys, just listen, bear with me. And then after I've spoken, if you won't, go ahead, mock on. As for me, is my complaint against man. Why should I not be impatient? Now, Job tells the friends explicitly, my complaint is not against man. My complaint is about God. So you may wonder why I keep using the words that I keep using. You may wonder why I keep running my mouth. You may wonder why I seem so impatient. That's because I'm dealing with God. I'm dealing with the one that has the power to, end my life if he chooses to do so. So why wouldn't I be impatient? Because if God chooses to end my life very soon, I might not get the answer that I'm looking for. So we can see from just knowing that Job says, my complaint is not against man, but my complaint is against God. We can see why Job is becoming more impatient. But we can also, I think, see why Job is becoming a little more arrogant in the way that he talks to God. He's just frustrated. He's angry. Look at me, Job says to the friends, and be appalled and lay your hand over your mouth. Job says, don't turn away. Look at me. Look at my dreaded state. Look how skinny I am. Look how I look like I am literally about to die. Look at the black circles around my eyes. Look at the scars on my face from where I've cried so much. Look at all these things. And when you look at me, don't tell me, well, Job, that just proves you're wicked. Because that's what you're going to want to say. But lay your hand over your mouth. Remember, he's told them, bear with me. Bear with me. When I remember, I am dismayed, and shuddering seizes my flesh. Job says, when I think about my body that has been pretty much torn to pieces at this point, it terrifies me. Now, why does it terrify him? Well, yes, things are bad in Job's life, and that is one reason to be terrified. You know, when we suffer, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. When we suffer intensely, maybe, we have a tendency to be afraid. I mean, we don't like to suffer. We don't like pain. We want it to go away. But Job is also terrified because he knows his life is going to come to an end. Now, we've already seen that he's impatient because he needs God to respond, and he's afraid that God isn't going to respond, and nobody will ever know the truth. Well, that's why. Because Job knows his day is coming, and he really needs God to answer. Why do the wicked live, reach old age, and grow mighty in power? Now here we kind of shift from Job really chastising the friends a little bit and explaining his situation a little more to Job really, really challenging the doctrine of retribution. You know, if there's an idea that you get from chapter 21, please get the idea that chapter 21 is all about the problems with the doctrine of retribution, which the friends endorse in, it seems, every situation that they observe in life. But Job wants to challenge that. He says, why did the wicked live? Why did the wicked prosper in life, Job says? Why do they reach old age? So why do the wicked continually advance in years? Why isn't their existence obliterated from the face of the earth and grow mighty in power? Now, we've already seen in the book of Job that the friends tell Job, listen, Job, if you observe something that seems to be an exception, that seeks to act as an exception to the doctrine of retribution, it's really not an exception, okay? It's just a delay in retribution. But rest assured, Job, that delayed will be resolved fairly quickly by God. In other words, if you see a wicked person in life that is very, very successful, they're only going to be successful for a short time, because it's kind of like what Bildad pictured in his second speech, that the wicked walks down this path of wickedness in life, and they're taking great strides, but then they notice all these traps and things start to fall apart because they're trying to do everything without God. Well, that's what the friends have said. If you observe wicked people prospering in life, it's only for a short amount of time. Now listen to what Job says. Job's not talking about what Job said. Job's not talking about those types of individuals. He's talking about individuals that are old in age. We'll go back to that in a second. Their offspring, Job says in verse 8, are established in their presence, and their descendants before their eyes. So forget this business that Eliphaz has, not Eliphaz, I'm sorry. It is so hard to keep the three friends straight in your mind, but Zophar, forget this business of, when this great wicked person dies that has taken other people's wealth by force, or he's devised crafty plans to ultimately gain their wealth. Job Zophar, I'm sorry. Zophar said what? He said, don't worry about it, because when that person dies, what's going to be ironic is their children, the wicked person, his children, are going to beg from the poor people, the ones that their father extorted from. And that wealth is going to go to those poor people, and his children will in fact be poor. Now, Job says, not the case, not the case. Because these people that I'm talking about that are wicked and they advance in old age and they grow mighty in power, well, their children prosper from their wealth. So what do you have to say about that so far? Their houses, Job says in verse 9, are safe from fear. The wicked are at peace in life. It's not like they're worried about, something happening to them. It's not like they're, gripped by fear at all points in their life. I mean, that's kind of different from what we heard from Bildad in his second speech, because you remember he said in verse 11, he says, or chapter 18, verse 11, terrors frighten him on every side and chase him at his heels. So we get this depiction of the wicked, that the wicked is just always gripped by fear. They're terrified because they know bad things are going to happen to them. But Job says that's not the case with all people that are wicked, because there are some people that are wicked that are just at peace. Their homes are safe from fear, and no rod of God is upon them. They're not experiencing God's wrath. Now, there's really two options for why the wicked aren't suffering, at least at this point in what Job wants us to notice. The first option is they've just escaped their punishment somehow and in some way. We don't know how, we don't know why, they just have. So they're not going to be punished for their wicked deeds. That's one option. Number two is, one could argue, well, God just hasn't punished them yet, but their punishment is coming. Well, that's what the friends have already argued about the wicked person. Don't worry, God will punish them. But yeah, they said God will punish them quickly. Well, we're not dealing with quickly anymore. We're dealing with a very long delay in the doctrine of retribution. Their bull breeds without fail. Their cow calves and does not miscarry. So they're prosperous. The wicked are prosperous in their livestock. Now, why does Job point that out? Well, I think it's one thing to say that the wicked prosper in life. It's another thing to say, look how the wicked prosper in every area of their life. It makes their prosperous life more emphatic. It really gets the point across. Look at their animals. Nothing's wrong with their animals. They don't even lose an animal when their animals give birth. That's how prosperous they are. It seems that they're blessed. What's up with that, Job says? They send out their little boys like a flock, and their children dance. They sing to the tambourine and the lyre, and rejoice to the sound of the pipe. So now Job has painted this picture of just pure bliss, pure happiness among the wicked. That's what they enjoy. They throw parties. And it's not like they're just throwing parties to deceive people into thinking that they live a happy life. They truly do. Look how happy they are. Everybody's joyous. There's not a care in the world. Now, these are wicked people, remember. They spend their days in prosperity, and in peace they go down to Sheol. So now Job wants an answer to, okay, I've just painted the picture that some wicked people live in happiness and prosperity for their entire life. Now you might say, well, death's going to be bad for them. Their death is what's going to be bad. That's their punishment. Well, no, it's not, Job says. They go down to Sheol in peace. They don't die a terrible death. They die the death that every person would hope to die. They say to God, now verse 14 is the kicker here. They say to God, depart from us. We do not desire the knowledge of your ways. Instead of God commanding a person on how to live their life, notice what these wicked people do. They command God, God, leave us alone. Depart from us. We don't care about you. We don't want to think about you. We don't want to mold our lives around you, God. We don't want to know your commandments. We don't want to know how you think we ought to live our lives. Just go away. Now notice how these wicked people are. They make a conscious decision to reject God. And their lives are prosperous. The lives of their children are prosperous. They are happy all the days of their life, and they don't die a dreaded death. Well, let's make matters a little worse. What is the Almighty that we should serve Him? Now, it's true that some people serve others because they are forced into serving someone. So some people serve others not willfully. They don't want to, but they do it anyway because they're forced. But I want to ask the question, why do people willfully serve someone? Will people who willfully serve another individual do so because they believe that individual is worthy of respect, that individual may occupy a position of power, and therefore they deserve to be served? What is the Almighty that we should serve Him? Notice what they're saying about God's authority, God's power. He's not worthy of our respect. He's not worthy of us serving Him. And what profit do we get if we pray to Him? Why would we want to serve God? Well, the friends might say, you should want to serve God because when you serve God, good things happen in your life. You're blessed, your children are blessed, your livestock are blessed. Every facet of your life is blessed. Not according to these people that are wicked. God can do nothing for us. But yet they prosper in their life, and Job can't make any sense of that. We are out of time, so we will definitely next week finish the rest of chapter 21 because it gets very interesting. I hope again that you're doing well. I can't wait to see everybody Sunday. God bless.